it's going to be a very, very difficult fight. But we're going to see. And I think Anthony's in a great place. I can tell you, he couldn't be in a better frame of mind. He couldn't be in a better shape physically and mentally. He's ready. No, but we're not deluded. We know how tough this fight is.
Reminds me similarly of like when Rocky Fielding took on Canelo Alvarez fight.
Yeah, a little bit, only that, you know, Rocky's not operated at the level that Anthony has. Anthony has fought for a world title. Anthony has won a world title. Anthony has tried to unify the division. He's fought Jorge Linares twice. He's done 24 rounds with him. So, you know, he's a little bit more experienced than Rocky was. But, you know, again, he's still dealing with a pound-for-pound great fighter.
Brought some massive fans over as well.
He's got a few hundred from Manchester. Yeah, they're going to make a lot of noise. You know, he's got big support. Don't forget, when he boxed Linares, we had 12,000 in there. Yeah. Every time he fills up that Manchester arena, he's got fanatical support there. So, you know.
Would you have preferred the fight in Manchester?
Well, they've done no ticket. They've sold no tickets here, so it's disappointing. And
it's such a big fight as well.
We could have done 20, 30,000 for this fight in England. Yeah. But you know, it's more difficult in America for sure. Like I said in the interview, there's a lot going on. You know, in England, if Crawler's fighting Lomachenko, it's a national event.
Oh, they would stop, the whole weekend was stopped.
Yeah, exactly, but it's not, boxing hasn't quite got the same profile here yet. Hopefully we can change that.
Talking about that, how are your air miles? You're everywhere, aren't you?
Yeah, it's good fun. Listen, we've got a brilliant opportunity for over 8 years to try and change the sport. And I'm blessed that I've been given that opportunity.
Let me ask you about Danny Jacobs, Canelo Alvarez.
Yeah. Oh, mate, I can't tell you. Every day, every morning I wake up thinking about that fight. And every day I think more and more that Danny Jacobs is going to win that fight. Like,
it's almost beat Golovkin, so
yeah, but it's almost
he did beat Triple G.
Yeah, but it's almost. But that was a very, very close fight. But you know, I had him nicking the fight. But look, it could have. That's a fight. We can't afford this fight to be that close because you know how many people in the game need Canelo Alvarez to win this fight. Like we're the guys who we want to make sure that we upset the apple cart. But it's almost spiritual how I feel about Danny Jacobs in this fight. And I know that just because you had cancer and you beat cancer, you don't just beat Canelo Alvarez because you deserve some good luck. But when you're as good as Danny is, when you're as strong as he is, when you're as smart as he is, as big as he is, as fast as he is, I just believe he's going to do it. And listen, I think Canelo is probably my pound for pound top fighter. I really do. And it's going to take an immense effort from Danny Jacobs, but I just feel it. I just feel that it's going to happen.
Okay, Eddie, let me ask you something, Eddie. Okay, now that Canelo has told Triple G he has to officially get a belt, are you guys going to force Demetrius Andre, or should I say force Triple G to finally fight somebody of substance like Demetrius Andre? Will you try to force that fight?
No, I mean, look, I think from DAZN's point of view, they will be pushing for Golovkin to fight the winner of Jacobs against Canelo. And you know, I know Canelo, I saw his comments, but really, that's the fight that DAZN want. So that's the fight that will probably happen. Demetrius is in such a great position, and I keep saying to him, he's going to hold that final piece of jigsaw for the Undisputed title. So all he's got to do is keep winning. He'll probably fight Sulecki in June, while these guys are having their fights, and then September, October, he's going to be in a monster fight. You know, he's the one that's going to be providing, you know, just like we had our argument about Wilder, he's going to be in that position where he holds the key to Undisputed. You know, and without Wilder fighting, without Joshua fighting Wilder, we can't get that. And without Canelo fighting Andrade, we can't get that. So,
I'll ask you a question about Charlo.
Go on.
So what do you think? What do you got to say for Charlo right now? If you got to.
Oh mate, I've done it all, haven't I? I've said it all. You know, like what can I tell you? You want me to say something controversial?
He did say he would go to the zone. He said that.
I don't know. Look, you know, Al Heyman is a very, very smart guy. He's a genius. Just, I don't know. I'll hold it there. I'll hold it there. But,
okay.
You know,
don't bite.
Well, you know, Bob Barum said he didn't exist. So Al Heyman is a real person.
He is a real person.
Okay.
Unless it wasn't him.
So you don't talk to him through a hologram or through a.
We don't talk much anymore. Look, we met years ago when we were trying to do Chavez against Froch. And you know, we met when we were trying to do Wilder against Joshua. We don't talk a lot. I don't think I'm on his Christmas card list.
Okay, I got another question though.
Because I'm trying to basically, you know, Al Heyman is an advisor, not a promoter, apparently. So you've got basically all these guys don't have promotional contracts. So I'm free to talk to any of those guys and make them offers.
How do you set up? How do you put together Gervonta Davis and Teving? hate that fight.
Again, difficult. Put it this way, I will let Tevin Farmer fight Gervonta Davis on Showtime if the deal is right.
Are you serious, Eddie?
Yep.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm glad you said it.
100%. I would never let a fighter, like, there comes a time, and look, you know, Bob said, Joshua's got to leave with DAZN. Joshua is on a fight-by-fight deal with DAZN at the moment. I expect him to have his long-term future on DAZN. He wants to stay on DAZN, but at the moment, we're just making sure that we have the flexibility, unlike Tyson Fury, to take other fights that are important to his career and his legacy, right? With Gervonta Davis and Tevin Farmer, it's like, I would never stop Tevin Farmer from taking a fight that important that would make him so much money. But let me ask you if that's a view shared by Gervonta Davis's promotional team. Nah. Some people make decisions to benefit their promotional company or their advisory company rather than the fighter.
And we miss out
And
so
that
many
is
good
what's
fights,
sad
don't
about
we?
boxing, because let me tell you, Gervonta Davis, if he knew the money that I've been offering him for the Tevin Farmer fight, he'd walk now. I know Gervonta Davis. I love Gervonta Davis. He's a brilliant fighter. That's a great fight. That's a fight that should get made like that. Neither of them are superstars yet, but they can both make a lot of money to make a fight that people would love to see. So, you know, but
I got another question for you. That's not neither one of these guys are your fighters. Lomachenko versus Gervonta Davis. Who do you have?
It's a great fight. I'm going to go with Gervonta Davis, but I'll tell you more tomorrow night.
All right, Eddie, how far are we from Wilder versus Joshua, man? What is it gonna take?
It's going to take someone to come in with a load of money, right, and go, boys, here it is. And then someone's going to have to go, oh, fuck it, like, I've got to do it, and that will happen. I mean, you know, when we talk about the fight getting bigger and bigger, this is true. Like, it's twice the size now than it was a year ago, right? This fight. In a year, if they both keep winning, it'll be twice as big again. But they've got to fight, like Joshua's got to fight Usyk. You know, Brazil's going to have to fight Dillian White at some point. Like, it might. So it's risky. You can't keep hanging on to this. Like,
is it some way, Eddie, that this can get worked out? Because it seemed like it's a lot of finger pointing, and that's all we've heard for the last year.
No, but it was nice. Yeah, the good thing about the DAZN meeting and offers was that people finally, even the Wilder fans, started to say, "You've got to take that," you know, for the first time, and he didn't. That's fine. But now it's just a case of keep talking. We just got to keep trying. You know, one thing, like Bob Arum's a bit crazy, right? And he says some crazy things. But I'll tell you something about Bob Arum. I could call Bob Arum the worst names under the sun. I could disrespect him to his face, to the media, and he would still phone me that night to close a deal for one of his fighters, right? And I'm in the same boat. It's so deep with those guys because of what's been said. They don't even want to have those conversations, you know? So it's going to take someone to get in the middle, which is what really was happening a couple of weeks ago, and say, right, this is for you, here's all the money, let's go. That's how it gets made.
Is there some kind of way, Bob, that maybe Eddie, is there some kind of way that you guys could work this out between DAZN and Showtime? Maybe you and Espinosa could get together and work something out?
No, probably not me and Espinosa getting together, but up for anything. If Espinosa called me, if Shelley called me, if Al called me and asked me to meet tomorrow, I will be there.
Okay, I got one for you.
Not you
Ortiz,
again.
Anthony Joshua. Yeah, I gotta ask, man.
Yeah,
That was
that's on
supposed
the
to happen in
radar.
2017.
That's on the radar. I'll tell you something.
Yeah, I remember you saying that you would get rid of the WBA title. You would vacate that if you were ordered to face Luis Ortiz.
No, I never said that.
Yes, you did.
No, I would
Yes,
never
you did.
ever say that.
Yes, you did.
No, I would
you really
never
did.
ever.
Eddie,
What I said
documented.
was,
You said it was bigger than the titles.
no, we were talking about another fight at the time. It's not that I would just get him to vacate a belt to avoid someone. You're talking about a situation where there was another fight that we were working on. It's actually the Klitschko rematch. Now let's talk about what was the real truth behind your statement there.
Right.
We were working on the Klitschko rematch. Luis Ortiz said, I'm mandatory. I said, if we have to vacate the WBA belt to fight Klitschko, we will do it. That's very different from you just telling me then that you said you'd vacate the belt rather than fight Luis Ortiz. I never said that. I said we'd fight Klitschko as we had a contracted rematch instead. Now, let me go back to Luis Ortiz. when we had a choice to fight in America, there were actually two options for us: Jarrell Miller and Luis Ortiz. We went to Madison Square Garden, we went to DAZN, and we said, who would you rather? They say Jarrell Miller. Right? We want an American, great, from Brooklyn, big mouth, great. So that's why. Luis Ortiz is a very probable opponent for Anthony Joshua, maybe even next. Certainly in the future, because if we're going to fight in America more often, we need people who have name recognition, profile in America. Luis Ortiz is definitely one of them.
Yeah. He wants to fight badly.
Who's badly?
He wants to fight Anthony Joshua badly.
Oh,
Luis
right,
Ortiz.
okay, yeah.
He does. He wants to fight Wilder
He does.
again too.
I feel sorry for him.
He
because-
wants Wilder and Joshua.
I feel sorry for him because he's fighting, the people he's fighting are horrendous.
Yeah,
and
no one want to fight him.
no, but his value is going down.
Even
down,
your guy, Dillian
down.
White.
Dillian White will fight.
Dillian White's not trying to fight him. You know he didn't give off no 2.6 million. Come on, man.
You're like asking me questions, but you're telling me the answers. That's not what this is about, really. You're not saying, does Dillian White want to fight? You're just telling me. So if that's your thoughts, that's fine. Okay. But what I'm saying is, by Luis Ortiz fighting Christian Hammer and stinking the whole arena out, who cares about Luis Ortiz? That's why they're doing a bad job for Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz's value after the Wilder fight has gone to the floor, right? So actually, after the Wilder fight, he was a big commodity. Who's he fought since?
He was trying to fight your guy after
It's
that.
not my job. I'm asking you a question. Who has he fought since Wilder? Not he was trying to fight.
Yeah.
He was okay.
They won't fight him.
It's not they won't fight and they won't pay the money because they're not investing in the fighter. Everyone will fight him. It's just about the money. They stick him in with Michael Hunter. Stick him in with Philip Hergovich. Stick him in with Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce is begging to fight Luis Ortiz. Why won't he? Mate, trust me, he's begging to fight Luis Ortiz. Begging. I was with his people today. So, but he don't want to fight those kind of people because what you're missing out of your analysis is it's also about risk reward for people like Luis Ortiz. You think Luis Ortiz will fight anyone because he's King Kong. He don't give a fuck. Yeah, bullshit. He's got advisors. He's got people around. If they look at the Joe Joyce fight and go, "What am I getting out of the Joe Joyce fight?" No, but it's true. This is a young prospect who's like durable. He's messy. He's a bit dangerous. Fuck fighting Joe Joyce. So for all the people you say, no, they don't want to fight Luis Ortiz. He don't want to fight the wrong people either. So that's the game.
I disagree with you, but
It's good.
Okay.
I appreciate your opinion, buddy.
Okay, Eddie, let me ask you something. You had said that that Anthony Joshua and the Miller fight broke records as far as
It's the fastest grossing pre-sale in the history of boxing at Madison Square Garden.
But is the total fight at this time like sold out, Eddie?
3,000 tickets left.
So you saying the fight is gonna be a sellout?
100%.
100%.
Yeah. We've got 8 weeks to go, and there's about 3,000 tickets left. So, and by the way, I have to say, it's very expensive. That's why it's not sold out yet. Because if it was priced like, I don't know, Crawford next week, it would have sold out on the first day.
Okay. Eddie, did you kind of underestimate Deontay Wilder's popularity? Because, a while back you said that Deontay wasn't that popular, but, just recently, the Final Four, he did an interview and it, generated 13 million views. So,
I just really based it on, he just had what was supposed to be a huge heavyweight fight, and it did 250,000 pay-per-view buys. It's awful numbers, really. So I don't think I underestimated his popularity, but his popularity is definitely increasing.
Well, what do you think Anthony Joshua would do if you put him on pay-per-view? Do you think he would do better numbers?
That wasn't your question, was it? Your question was I underestimating his popularity? The pay-per-view numbers said absolutely not. If he was a star in America, he would be doing star numbers. Is Anthony Joshua a star in America? No. That's your answer to that second part of your question. But was I underestimating his popularity? No, because his pay-per-view numbers against Tyson Fury for a major heavyweight fight were, quite frankly, terrible.
What would you have did to boost the pay-per-view sales, Eddie? How would you have promoted the fight? Do you think that Showtime did a terrible job?
I think Showtime do a great job in that. I think their all access stuff and stuff like that is excellent. I think it goes down to my comments earlier that I just don't think Deontay Wilder should be an absolute national star. He's a good fighter. He's got a great personality. He looks good. He's an athlete. And he's more importantly, he's an American world heavyweight champion. He should be walking down here with thousands of people following him. Going, Deontay, right? So, but why is that not the case? Yes, he doesn't have a promoter. That's the first thing. But secondly, he's a great self-promoter, by the way. But I just think it's a reflection as a criticism of Deontay, but just a reflection of boxing in America more than anything.
So are you saying you want to promote him?
I'd love to promote Deontay Wilder, of course, but I think the chances of that are about as close as you winning the New York Marathon next year.
I wouldn't win.
Exactly. He won't sign with me. He won't sign with me. I won't win either. I'll beat you. I'll beat you.
How big could you make Deontay Wilder if you promote him?
No, listen, it's easy for me to say. Yeah. It's like Bob up there, you go, Joshua's got to leave Hearn and come to top. Like, it's all bullshit, and at the end of the day, like, could I make Deontay Wilder bigger? Maybe. And like when Bob says to me, what does Eddie Hearn know about promoting the US? Maybe he's right. Yeah. I'm just from the UK. I've been promoting in America for 6 months. Yeah. Give me a chance. You know what I mean? Like, we've smashed the game in Britain. We've done a great job. I've got to learn over here. I can come out and be arrogant and think, I'm going to do this. I'm not deluded. I've been here 6 months, right? So I've sold more tickets for my show in LA, Rung Versailles Estrada, the Henny against Roman Jesse Vargas, than they've sold at Staples Center for the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world.
What about Devin Haney? I heard that
Great fighter.
You guys were working on some type of deal with him.
Yeah, I'd love to sign Devin Haney.
Like a co-promotional deal?
Yeah, we're talking to Devin Haney. I rate him as a fighter. I think he's a future star of American boxing. And he's the kind of guy that I'd love to work with.
What about, are you guys considering bringing any type of shows out to the Bay Area, the San Francisco Bay Area?
Yeah, a lot of people asking me to go to Oakland. I mean, look, I'm a big Andre Ward fan. Yeah. Love him to come back, but I haven't really looked at Oakland. Our first California show is April 26th at the Forum. It's a big card, and we'll see how that goes. It's not easy, you know. Like you have to be. What works in London works in Manchester, like I said, and what works in New York don't work in LA. What works in LA don't work in Kansas or Philly.
Don't work in Oakland either, man. Oakland and even though Oakland and LA are both in the same state.
No, very different. I've been to Oakland 4 or 5 times. I've been involved in fights there. I was working on the Super 6 with Frotch when he boxed Wall. I know Oakland. You know, none of it's easy, mate. To be honest with you, none of it's easy because boxing's just not. It doesn't have the popularity that it has in the UK.
Okay, Eddie, speaking of Andre Ward. Yeah, okay, because I know you got to go. Okay, Eddie, speaking of Andre Ward, you know, I don't know if it was just game Oscar was running, but he said that don't be surprised if Canelo calls out Andre Ward. Do you even entertain that fight of DAZN possibly wanting to put together Andre Ward versus Canelo? Who wins? Who wins?
Andre Ward. Too big. But I tried to make Usyk against Andre Ward not so long ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
And that would have been a dream fight. But Andre Ward's done some great business over the years, so he's not short of money. I have massive respect for Andre Ward. I think he's a really classy guy. I think he's an outstanding fighter as well. So, good luck to him.
All right. Man, I actually wanted to ask you one.
Thank you, Eddie. Dante's Boxing Nation.